You're my hub here. Delighted to be joined by Cory McKenna. How are we doing today?
Good, thanks, yourself.
Yeah, not too bad. I guess it's been a pretty whirlwind couple of weeks for yourself. Obviously, 6 days now. You'll be on the UFC Contender Series. Talk a little bit just about when you first found out about the opportunity, and then just everything since then.
Yeah, well, a couple of weeks ago, got a text off Urijah. He was like, right, Cory, Contenders, August 11th, this is your opponent. Obviously, forwarded that on to my manager, was like, look, Urijah's been having a little chat with Mick, and, they've got me an opportunity. It's taken a lot of work, and my manager he's my coach as well. But he's definitely had to jump a lot of hurdles and pull out some pretty impressive stuff to get this done. So I'm very, very appreciative for him.
Yeah. When did you sort of first find out about it? Was it just a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah. So I think it'll be like 3 weeks by the fight, maybe.
Oh wow! So
week.
Yeah. What was your sort of first reaction when you heard about it?
I've been pestering for a fight anywhere I'll come for the past 18 months. So not one to pass on an opportunity, especially not fighting Vegas.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, that last 18 months has been inactive. How's that been for yourself? Not getting.
To be fair, I've been doing back-to-back camps because I keep training hard and I'm not getting any fights. But it's all sort of completely out of my control. It's not like I'm sat at home on the sofa going, "Oh, I'm not fighting. I'm just gonna chill." I'm in the gym multiple times a day, every day, and I have been for the last 18 months. So as frustrating and tedious as it's been not fighting and not being able to show everyone what I'm working on, I think everyone's going to be in for a big shock when I step in there next week, because like I say, I've only been improving, and I've had 18 months just to focus on myself, essentially.
I guess as well with this, just sort of it's a whirlwind opportunity. I guess what sort of you were talking about earlier, just the coronavirus testing today. What other stuff have you had to do? I'm guessing like visas and stuff have had to be done.
I needed all my medicals. So I had none of my medicals. Luckily, I'd started the visa process already, because I'd like to start the next chapter of my life and get on out there training full time. So I'd already started the visa application, which kind of helped out a little bit, but it did definitely take some strings to pull. Anyone who's familiar with the process will know that it is not easy to obtain, and very expensive process as well. Luckily my sponsors have helped out with camp and some of my expenses and everything. That's Franklin, if they're listening. And then obviously all my medicals, so I had to have I've been running around trying to find brain scans, blood tests, bad eye tests. They're very rigorous with it, but it's understandable. They're the top promotion. Obviously, I have a lot of that stuff done for Cage Warriors anyway. There's only a few extra little bits. And we finished all that up today. I just had to go get another blood test. It's like a blood pregnancy test that they make us women do. And then and I had obviously my COVID test before I'm allowed to get on the flight.
Yeah. How's that? Is that the one up the nose?
Both.
Yeah, both.
They tickle the back of your throat and then they prod it up to your brain. It's delightful.
It looks delightful. I've seen a few videos of boxers and MMA fighters having it done.
We'll have it done again for
sure. Vanessa Demopoulos, I think I'm saying that right, is your opponent. How much do you know about her? I'm guessing not a whole lot before sort of this opportunity came about.
I'd be lying, if I said I knew too much about her before, but obviously, she's just fought for the LFA strawweight world title. It's like the biggest promotion in America besides from the UFC. So I think that kind of speaks for her level in itself. I know she's very well renowned on the jiu-jitsu scene. So yeah, tough opponent, but I expect nothing less at this level. I personally feel like I perform at that level anyway. Obviously, I'm confident going in there, as it should be. I think I've put in the work, so yeah, I think it's going to be a great fight, really.
Yeah. Similar sorts of MMA records between the two of you. I think she's just obviously had that title fight recently. There's just the one time she's obviously gone past 3 rounds. I think there'll be much difference experience-wise.
No, I've been competing since I was 13, 14. Like, in terms of experience, I actually think I'll probably be up there with pretty much anyone in the division. So yeah, like I said, I've been competing jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai since I was a little kid. Started fighting amateur at 15. So like, experience-wise, I feel more than prepared for this step up.
Yeah. Will your coaches and stuff from Wales be flying out with you for that, or is it the American side that will sort of chip in there?
So I get 2 cornermen. That will be Jack. He's from Colchester. He was my first ever MMA coach. My current manager, the big bald guy. Yeah, he'll be there. He's in all my corners. I'm at that point where I don't know if I'll go. Well, I could fight without him, obviously, but I wouldn't want to. He's like my little support system as well. We always joke, we all started calling him Gym Dad. He looks after us all so well, and like I say, he's done so much for me. And then I'll also obviously be having Urijah. Want to make the move, want to go my visa and everything sorted. He'll be my main coach. He obviously got me the opportunity, and he's been he puts so much time into me in my fight camps when I'm out there. He manages all my training. He does me all the private and stuff. So I couldn't ask for a better corner team between the two of them, to be fair.
Yeah. How did that opportunity in America come about? Because, I mean, it's not every day that you sort of get Urijah Faber helping out with your training and all this. I've
been out there on, a training trip. I think a lot of athletes, like I say, I became a full-time fighter when I was 15, nearly 16. I left high school, was going to train full-time. And I think a lot of people, especially my size and everything, they struggle to get training partners, and very self-aware that sometimes you have to make that step. You have to find somewhere else to go. You have to travel. So my parents used to tailor our family holidays around me trying out different gyms. So I travelled all around. I went to Team Alpha for the first time when I was 16 for a week. I loved it there. Kind of decided that would be my little home away from home, if you like. And then not long before my 18th birthday, I went out there for my first long training trip. I think it was meant to be 9 weeks. I ended up out there for 4 or 5. I got injured. But that was right before I was meant to make my pro debut. I went out there for a big training camp. And then, Urijah saw me on the mats 4 or 5 times a day, and was, I think he's your typical, the way his mentality works, very much like a lot of the high level athletes and coaches. He's got a lot of time for anyone that puts the time in. So he saw me putting a lot in the gym and putting in the work and everything. So he started giving me a bit more, and then that's just kind of how it developed from there. Yeah,
that's pretty cool doing that at age 16. Not many 16-year-olds get that opportunity.
No, I'm very fortunate. Like I say, my parents are very supportive. They have me from day one, so...
Yeah. What other gyms did you go to? Did you remember many of them, or was it just sort of all over?
I think the first gyms were... I went to Huntington Beach, down with Cafe Cordero. I think I said that completely, fumbled that. And then went to Glendale, where Rousey's from. I've also been to ATT. And obviously in the first trip, I obviously tried Tam as well. We did a road trip. I did Huntington, Glendale, Tam, and then we went to Miami for a few weeks the next year, and I tried ATT. And then the year after that, for my 18th birthday, I got my first full training camp by myself in America.
I guess your parents must like American holidays. Or was it more for you?
I don't think they've had a holiday since that one where I went to ATT. It's not necessarily there's just a lot to do out there, isn't there? There's a lot of sights to see. like I say, it was a lot to do with me. You know, like I say, they're very supportive. It was a chance for me to get to try different places, meet new people, you know, get a little bit of independence. You know, when we went to Miami, you know, they'd go off and do all the touristy stuff. They'd leave me at the hotel. I'd walk across to the gym like a few times a day, and you know, I'd come back, have a kip, have some food, and then go back to the gym. Like, you know, gave me a bit of independence as well. But they were close enough to kind of, if I needed them, and then you know, once I was ready, they released me.
Yeah. What's sort of the biggest thing you've taken from that? Is it sort of like the professional levels from the guys that like compete at the top?
Yeah, like see, I don't think in terms of like a professionalism and from a technical aspect, the gap is getting closed massively between the UK and there. The only difference for me is having the bodies on the mats and having like a full-time gym. You know, when I'm back home, I'm doing probably 3, 4, maybe more hours of driving, like between sessions, just to get a few sessions in a day. I'm having to actively search out like training partners, everything. Whereas out there, everything's a lot more accessible. You know, there are a lot more full-time professionals. Not, you know, they haven't got jobs and stuff. Like this is their profession, so you know, you guaranteed the bodies on the mats daily. You guaranteed the high level on the mats multiple times a day. And I think that's the main thing for me. It's the having that like 3, 4 sessions a day where I'm guaranteed training partners and I'm guaranteed high level coaching. You know, I can get it back here, but it's quite difficult to fit in and squeeze and like travel around and find the bodies and everything. So yeah, it's just a bit more like say not professionalism. I don't know if it sounds bad.
It's more like the amount of like the time and effort you can put into it as a sport.
Yeah.
Would you, if you did become like a full-time athlete, would you consider moving out to America, do you think? Or
I am a full-time athlete, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, sorry.
I've been since I was 15, so that's what I'm saying. I started the visa process back in March. That is the goal. I want to be living out there, you know. Urijah's offered me a job coaching the kids' classes and stuff, so I kind of, you know, I'm set, I'm ready to go. You know, that's the plan.
Yeah. Has the UFC like been the one that you've always aimed for, or is it just like the next step in your journey?
Yeah, I mean, the UFC's the pinnacle of the sport. I know obviously Bellator's getting a lot of hype and getting a lot of attention, but you know, I think the UFC always has been and probably always will be in everyone's eyes the pinnacle of the sport. You know what I mean? Regardless of where's got the most money or anything, I think everybody deep down wants to be the UFC champ. You know what I mean? I think that's considered to be the top. So that's definitely what I'm reaching for.
Yeah. Did you see any of the Contender Series last night, or did you? No.
I need to drink. I got too much on for that. I'll probably watch it back, but yeah, that's what I tend to do. I can't. I'm like an old lady. I need to be in bed by 10 and up and training.
What would it mean for you to get that contract if that was the result by next week?
Yeah, I mean, the world, I say, the UFC is considered to be the pinnacle of the sport, so it kind of be a testament to myself and all the work I've put in. Like I say, I've put in a lot of hours, I've put in a lot of years, and I think it'd be nice just to kind of like say, not just like my hard work, but also all my coaches and teammates. You know, I have a lot of people around me that are very supportive and do give me a lot. You know, I definitely couldn't be anywhere near where I am now without them. So I think getting in there would be like, it'd be nice to kind of, like say, show everyone that everything's kind of starting to pay off.
Yeah.
As opposed to sitting at home wondering when I'm going to get a fight.
What Cage War has been like with the opportunity and like letting you go out and stuff?
To be fair, I haven't spoken to him. Like I say, it was all come about very quick. Just been running around getting stuff done. You know, I'm sure they're cool with it. Like say, it's it just goes to show, you know, most of the fighters go from Cage Warriors onto the UFC, so it just goes to show that you know, that pathway does work. Like say, I haven't spoken to him. I'm sure my management has been. I know for a fact that he has.
Yeah.
I don't really deal with that side of things. They're a great organisation, of course, but there comes time for everyone to kind of move on to the next stage, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure. I've seen on sort of your social media, outside of the fighting, you've been sort of picking up the drawing again. How's that was that something you done when you were younger and just sort of picking up a bit more now, or?
Yeah, I always used to draw and paint. Bit of a kid, always got a book in my hand or a pencil in my hand. So it's just something that I do in between training sessions if I'm not driving around or running around doing stuff. I'd like to say it's to relax, but I'm a bit too much of a perfectionist, so I'm actually quite an aggressive painter. So I'm enjoying it, yeah.
Obviously, it's a weird experience as well with no crowd and stuff, and no family out there. Do your family normally fly your fights have been in the UK, haven't they? So not as far this time.
This will be the first fight that my dad's not at. There was a couple of fights when I was an amateur, like my mum was fighting the same night, so she would be, she'd be in Essex fighting. She'd have she would have Jack and everyone. And there's a couple of amateur fights where, I'd be driven 4 or 5 hours up north by my dad. He'd jump in my corner with a couple of my teammates, and I'd have a fight. So it's going to be a little weird. Like say I'm a bit of a daddy's girl, so it's going to be a bit strange not having him there. But it's got to be done. I know they'll be watching and supporting. So I'm just gonna take it and enjoy the moment. The crowd thing doesn't really affect me. Like at the end of the day, I actually think it will pay off in my favour a little bit. It's just nice and chilled now, isn't it? It's like sparring. So I just go out there, nice and relaxed, do what I've got to do. Not that I ever really feel too much pressure, but I just feel like it makes the whole occasion kind of feel a lot more relaxed and enjoyable.
Yeah. Speaking of pressure, like obviously with this, you can kind of be judged on the one fight performance. Does that play in your mind at all that you've got to go for a stoppage, or?
Like I'm always aiming to put on a dominant performance or and to entertain the crowd. But at the end of the day, I'm going out there for the win. Like I say, I always aim to put them away. I always aim to, do something impressive. So for me, nothing changes. All I can do is go out there and do my best on the night. I'm confident I'll get that win. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to an opinion. So, they're entitled to whatever it is. I'm just going to go out there and do my thing.
Good stuff. Is there anything else you'd like to add at all before finishing up?
No. Thank you to my coaches, teammates, and my sponsors. It's a time of fight where kitting me out constantly and Franklin with a whole lot of funding that I'm very appreciative of. It's not a cheap hobby to have.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the UFC contract's in your hands, it'll be a bit easier.
Back maybe.
Yeah. When do you fly out?
Friday.
Not long. Good stuff. Well, listen, Cory, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. We're nearing your bedtime, so don't want to keep you up.
But yeah, I'm still playing catch up. I was up at 4 a.m. the other day to get down to the visa consulate, and I'm just playing catch up. I think. Like an old lady through my 8 hours.
It'd be like, I suppose as well, like this could be best few weeks of your life, but it's sort of all kind of, you have to be careful not as zooms you pass, just have it done quickly.
Yeah, kind of relax, enjoy the process. I think it'd be a lot different to get out there, everything's done. There's no more what if this goes wrong, what if that happens, just want to get out there, get everything sorted, and punch them in the face.
Good stuff. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
No, thank you.